Close your eyes for a moment and picture a place where the horizon stretches so wide you can almost see tomorrow coming over the wheat. Or better yet, open your eyes and take in our drive to a place where the wind carries the smell of turned soil in spring and the low whistle of a freight train long after dark. That place is Washtucna, Washington. Long before any of us stood on this ground, the Palus people walked these hills. They called the little spring that bubbles up near town Washtucna, a word that means lookout, or spring by the hill. From the basalt rim rocks, they could see for miles the ripple of grass, the flash of a deer, the dust cloud of distant riders. That spring still runs today, tucked behind the old brick schoolhouse, a quiet reminder that every great story begins with water. Fast forward to the 1870s. The Northern Pacific Railroad was pushing iron fingers across the inland Northwest, and right here where State Route 26 now slices through golden stubble, the surveyors drove a stake and said, "This will do." By 1881, the Oregon Railroad and Navigation Company laid tracks straight through the basin. The first train chugged in on a crisp October morning, and with it came the future. Suddenly, Washtucna wasn't just a spring anymore, it was a shipping point. Wheat poured in from horse-drawn wagons, then from the first gasoline trucks. Towering grain elevators rose like redwood sentinels along the tracks. By 1903, the town incorporated and flourished. A 2-story hotel, a bank with marble counters, a newspaper called the Washtucna Enterprise, and a brass band that played every 4th of July. On Saturdays, the boardwalks buzzed, farmers in wool vests, ladies in Gibson girl hats, and kids chasing hoop toys past the livery stable. Imagine 1910. The population topped 500. The high school graduating class had 11 students, each one destined for something grand, or at least for the next harvest. The Washtucna Tigers played baseball against Colfax and Ritzville under kerosene lanterns. And every fall, the threshing crews rolled in, rough-cut, serious, but also humorous men who slept in the hayloft and paid for pie with silver dollars. But history, like the Palouse wind, rarely blows in a straight line. The 1930s brought the Dust Bowl storms. Black blizzards erased the sun for days. Farmers tied ropes between house and barn so they wouldn't lose their way. Yet Washtucna endured. The WPA built the community hall, which still stands, hosting potlucks and rummage sales. When World War II took the young men overseas, the women kept the combines running. When the boys came home, they brought new ideas. Bigger tractors, hybrid wheat, and a quiet determination to never let the land beat them again. The post-war boom was kind for a while. Then came the 1960s and 70s. Rail lines consolidated, grain moved by semi-truck, and one by one, the elevators closed. The bank shuttered. The hotel became apartments. The railroad tracks were pulled up, and the line was turned into the Columbia Plateau Trail. The population slipped below 300, then 250, then 208 by the 2020 census. Outsiders started calling towns like Washtucna ghost towns in slow motion. But here's what they miss. Washtucna didn't disappear, it distilled. It's now the smallest school district in Washington state. 40-some kids from kindergarten to senior. The prom is in the same brick building their grandparents attended. The Tigercats co-opt with lacrosse still suit up on Friday nights under the same lights. Sonny's Tavern and Grill still serves their chicken and joes, a half chicken with quartered potatoes, all pressured, fried together to perfection. And every June, Washtucna Days brings the parade down Main Street. The fire truck, the 4-H lambs, and Lions Club float made of crepe paper. Yes, the population is small. But small doesn't mean empty. It means every handshake matters. It means the volunteer fire chief is also the mayor and the guy who fixes your tractor. It means when a farmer loses a harvest to hail, the whole town shows up with casseroles and a bottle of Jack Daniels. So the next time someone asks, "Where's Washtucna?" tell them it's the place where the land speaks in wheat and wind, where 200 people hold a century in their hip pockets, where tomorrow's harvest is already growing under today's sky. I hope you've enjoyed this tour though, town. If you've enjoyed this video and history lesson, please hit the thumbs up button. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, take care.